A Mochi moment from Sadie, who writes, I'm not crying, you're crying. This is what I said during my first appointment with my physician at Mochi, because I didn't have to convince him I needed a GLP-1. He understood, and I felt supported, not judged. I came for the weight loss and stayed for the empathy. Thanks, Sadie. I'm Myra Ahmed, founder of Mochi Health. To find your Mochi moment, visit joinmochi.com.
Sadie is a Mochi member compensated for her story.
Stoveleg Media, igniting conversation.
Welcome to True Crime to Go. What can I get for you?
Yeah, I'm looking for a little game of cornhole, maybe, against somebody who I don't even know where to go with this.
Pull up to the second window and we'll see you next crime.
Welcome to True Crime to Go. I am John here with Jamie. I was worried. I was worried where you were going to go.
There was no good place to land there. This has been a story, probably for a story that broke this week, it's been sent to us more per capita than any story we've had in years.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it and I was like, well, I know what we're doing this week. And yeah, 10 people proceeded to send it to me. So
yeah, we've been, I was about to say we've been blown up. I don't think we should get violent here. There is, and I want to start out by saying somebody died here. This is tragic and awful. The circumstances surrounding it are so odd that it's just hard not to dig into those details. So we may go over 10 minutes tonight.
Well, when you hear about it, I guess your first question is how. So let's just go ahead and get the elephant that is already in the room exposed. There was a quadruple amputee who was charged with murder.
I need to, just so people know, both legs and both arms have been amputated.
Yeah.
4 things.
So, I mean, I'll just tell you what was going on in my brain when I heard this news was how physically did this happen? Turns out this guy is a freak of nature because he is like a professional cornhole player. I've saw videos of him throwing the corn bags, if that's what you call them.
Yeah.
The bags. But I've also seen videos of him cocking and firing a weapon. Now, that might not be the MO that we're going to talk about today. It may be, but while he does have limitations, he's pretty able-bodied.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, I mean, athletic, involved in wrestling. I saw some wrestling videos today, but the headline reads, and I'll just read how this was originally presented to me. And it felt like somebody had just taken a random word generator and had just thrown it in there and said, hey, whatever comes up next has got to be the one we use. So it says, quadruple amputee cornhole player accused of shooting man to death.
Yeah, that's a lot of words together that you just don't hear every day.
The victim in this case is 27-year-old Bradrick Michael Wells. We do know that he had a family. He had people who cared about him. And again, the circumstances of this whole case are unlike anything we've ever covered, but we don't want Bradrick Wells to be a punchline here. He deserves to be remembered as a person. This is a tragic loss for everybody that knew him, but we absolutely have to talk about the details.
So let's get into that. Dayton James Webber is 27 years old. He lives in La Plata, Maryland. When he was 10 months old, he contracted a bacterial infection, streptococcus pneumonia, and the infection turned so aggressive and it was so quick that his family was given, like, they brought in a priest to give the last rites because they did not think this kid was going to make it. To save his life, doctors had to amputate all 4 of his limbs. So like you said, no arms and no legs. But by every account before this week, his life was one that was extraordinary. On the Today Show, he appeared and he said that growing up, he taught himself how to pick things up off the floor, to hunt, to fish, to write. He learned how to drive. and even race go-karts. So he learned how to do all of those things. He was the kind of person that didn't let limitations stop him. He did learn how to operate a firearm. We shared on our TikTok page today a video of him shooting a firearm.
And that included loading it and cocking it and then firing it.
Yeah, really impressive. So we'll get back to that for a minute, but yeah, we also found out that he was a pretty avid cornhole player.
I really love cornhole, and of all the things in the world that I'm good at, that's maybe the only one. So never went pro. Never got to see this guy there. So cornhole is like John said, it's some people call it bags. Those people are not my friends, but it's cornhole. You throw the bags toward a board that has a hole in it. So it's a pretty casual game, but at the competitive level, there's so much strategy involved. There's an American Cornhole League that's been around for 10 years, and Webber was in that. He was the first quadruple, not quadriplegic. He had the ability to move the limbs, but he was the first amputee in history. He won the Maryland State Championship in 2020. ESPN did a feature on him in 2023. He called cornhole his calling. And again, maximizing his ability. A lot of people would give in and just not do anything, but he's seeming to try to make the most of what's happening in his life.
So shortly before 10:30 p.m. on Sunday, March 22nd, 2026, Webber was driving in La Plata, Maryland. He was near the intersection of La Plata Road and Radio Station Road. In the front seat next to him was Bradrick Michael Wells, again 27 years old, from Waldorf, Maryland. In the back seat were two other people. All four of them knew each other. According to the Charles County Sheriff's Office, there was an argument that broke out between Webber and Wells. And then, according to the documents that we found, Webber pulled out a firearm and shot Wells twice. Both times, those shots landed in his head, and Wells was killed.
And I want to be clear here. Webber, the quadruple amputee, is driving this car, is able to pull out a weapon and discharge it into the person next to him twice without being stopped. I just got to let that sit for a second. This is what happened. And
we'll just leave it there.
It didn't get any better after that. He pulled over and allegedly told the other people in the car, the ones in the back seat, help me get this body out of here. They refused. They got out of the car and ended up flagging down a police officer while Webber drove away with the body of his friend he had just shot twice in the head beside him in the passenger seat.
So 2 hours go by, and then a resident in the 1000 block of Newport Church Road in Charlotte Hall, Maryland, which was about 10 miles away, reported something in their front yard. That something ended up being Bradrick Wells. Webber had apparently stopped at some point and then just left Wells' body laying in the yard. But he kept on driving, and he went south into Virginia eventually.
Investigators tracked Webber's car, which was a 2022 Tesla, and it had a broken passenger window because of a gunshot. And that's roughly 100 miles from where they were in Maryland. They tracked him two ways. One was by his cell phone, and another was by his social media. On the same day as the shooting, Webber had posted videos and a photo of his car on his Snapchat showing him in St. Mary's County. Officers from several different jurisdictions, King George, Spotsylvania County, and Charlottesville, coordinated to close in on him. They found the Tesla, but he wasn't in it. He was in a nearby hospital, and he was being treated for an unspecified and unknown medical issue. Officers from the Albemarle County Police Department waited. When he was released from the hospital, he was arrested and charged as a fugitive from justice. And the story really broke on Monday. We're recording this Tuesday night. It's coming out on Wednesday. More information has come out today.
Yeah, so now we want to be very clear. Dayton Webber has not been tried. He has not been convicted. He is innocent until convicted or proven, otherwise. So what we know is that law enforcement has stated publicly and what is in the indictment documents. So we don't know what the argument was about. We don't know what preceded it. We don't know what Webber's account of events is, or whether he has legal representation yet, or, we just don't have a lot of facts right now. But what we do know is that charging documents, or the indictment, describe 2 witnesses in the backseat who reportedly described the shooting in detail and who will almost certainly be central to whatever comes next. We also know that this is not Webber's first encounter with law enforcement. Court records show that he has a prior arrest for impaired driving in St. Mary's County. That is a case which he struck a police car and also ran into a building.
And was driving impaired by drugs or alcohol.
It wasn't impaired because of his, limitations. It was a chemical that he put into his body. So this case is not being widely reported at the time, but it is now.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, one question is, how could somebody who's a quadruple amputee even fire a weapon? As we referenced, we shared a video on TikTok of, this is allegedly him loading, cocking, and firing a firearm. It blurs it out, so it's kind of hard to see the whole thing, but he can do it.
I know that there are definitely guns that can be modified to allow someone with a disability to fire it. When I saw the video, I saw an unmodified pistol, but it is somewhat blurred out. I didn't see, I saw him cock it using both of his arms and remaining legs, but I don't know how he fired the gun. That's something that I just haven't figured out yet. It almost looks like he's amputated at the elbow. So maybe he has a bone there that he is able to use in place of a finger.
Not any prosthetics that you can see. Nope. So he faces charges of first-degree murder, second-degree murder, 2 counts of first-degree assault, and use of a firearm in the commission of a felony. So obviously these are very serious charges. In Maryland, first-degree and second-degree murder may mean a little something different from what we're used to. So we'll have to wait and see what charges actually land and go to trial, and then we'll absolutely stay on top of this case and keep everybody posted. The headline was certainly an attention grabber, but we want to make sure we honor the victim here and that we cover everything that happens and really hope he gets justice.
Yeah, this is a very interesting case, and I can almost assure you that this will be something that we keep you posted on over on Patreon.
Absolutely.
Because Jamie is invested.
I am very invested. This is a fascinating case, and a lot of it really is the logistics of the how, and then we'll see if the story adds up. We don't know Webber's defense. Maybe he has a completely different story than what we've been told, and can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, and I think that the 2 witnesses in the back are going to have a lot to say.
Today's True Crime to Go has been a crime story in 15 minutes or less.
Would you like crime with that?
You've listened to True Crimecast, distributed by Stoveleg Media. Check out stoveleg.com to find out more about your hosts and to find other podcasts to listen to. Stoveleg Media, igniting conversation.